All right, so now let's look at solving rational inequalities. So I'm going to tell you what I do. What I do is that I treat it like an equation, looking for first my values that x is not allowed to be, and then my solution, and I put those on a number line, and then I come back to the original and test in the inequality to determine what my final solution is. So let me show you what this looks like. So I'm going to start straight away and note that x cannot be equal to 2 because I can't divide by 0. Then I'm going to treat this like an equality. And so solving this, I would get negative 4x plus 8. So negative 4x is equal to negative 2. So that tells me that x is a half. So now I think about a number line. And on this number line, I would have positive 2, and I would have a half. So I know that 2 is invalid, so open circle, because if I had 2, I would divide by 0. At a half, let me move this over a bit so that it's clearer. So at a half, I'll write it as 0.5. That's going to make this equal. And so that's allowed because it says that my solutions for x have to make this quantity greater than or equal to negative 4. So now I'm going to pick numbers on either side. So a nice number on this side to pick is 0. If I plug in 0, then I would get 6 over negative 2. So that would be negative 3, which is greater than or equal to negative 4. That is true. That means it is a solution. So everything that is less than or equal to a half will be a solution. A number in between a half and 2 is 1. So if I test the number 1, 6 divided by negative 1 is negative 6, which is not greater than negative 4, so that is invalid. So nothing in between this region will be a solution. And now let's test 3. So 3 minus 2 is 1. So that's going to be positive, which will obviously be greater than a negative. Anything that is greater than 2 will give me a positive value, which will always be greater than a negative. So in the end, my solution is x is going to be less than a half, or x is going to be less than or equal to a half, because I was allowed to be equal to a half, or x is greater than 2. Notice that I cannot have a scenario where I would put these into one inequality or use the word and, because a number cannot be less than a half and simultaneously greater than 2.